All right, guys, welcome in to this is a pretty long hiatus I've been on in terms of live streaming, but I figured I'd throw one up tonight. I'm trying to either stream or do a video, like a script video every night, but I haven't been able to do it. New Scumbass 28. It's a dream team. That's a real dream team. What's up? What's going on? Yeah, I saw Trump was getting rid of the IRS apparently or whatever. ERS, which collects money for foreign countries instead of American taxpayers. Yeah, I mean, Trump's offering some interesting ideas. I don't know. I got to read up on that, honestly. What's up? But you know what? I saw this. I was like, this is very strange. These young liberal kids. So their beloved TikTok is getting banned, and I mean, how about that whole thing? It's like, oh, the right and the left unite against TikTok being banned, and they're trying to censor and hide the truth from Americans. Really? Well, then why does X still exist? I mean, like the whole thing. I think so many young kids are just brainwashed with TikTok. Now the liberal young kids are like, oh, now they're censoring us, and we love free speech on the internet, and they're trying to censor and hide everything. Well, no, it's a Chinese. It's a Chinese app. I mean, there's a difference between apps and corporations created in the United States and China, and the app spies on American citizens. But then they got this app, you can't even read it. It's Chinese, and you've got all these liberal kids just goo goo gaga. Let me down. It's China said it's good. China. Now it's like even more authentic. You got the Chinese. It's not even the similar. I don't even think it's the same app. It's like some off thing, and then all these like liberal communist kids like go download it, like jerk off China. ERS. Yeah, I mean, I saw some things on the ERS. I saw, of course, the I can't keep up with the meme coins that get created, but I saw some of those on the ERS. Thoughts on the college football playoffs so far? I mean, the games haven't been the best, but it's better than what it was, man. I like the playoff style. I mean, the problem is they really have to change the schedule format. Like the games have to be pushed up. It just went on too long. Like both the final four games, the way they had them on different days and both during the week, it doesn't work that way. Just it doesn't feel right. It kind of feels like it was done experimentally, which it was. TikTok is the only source of income for 70% of women. Well, it's also OnlyFans as well. But I mean, it's like now it's like China, China. You can't even. It's in Chinese, and it's these like American like 16-year-old communists are like, oh my god, it's there it is. It's the new app from China. It's like, what about just YouTube Shorts? I'm not trying. I mean, look, you think people do what they want, but it's just I don't understand the love affair. How do you even type in the app? I don't know. It's like all these dumbass kids download it and they're like, oh, they need to change it to English. Look at it. It's not even English. I don't know what they thought they were getting. How well do you think Pete Hegseth did today? Did you see the clip of it was a video edited together. Hegseth was his head was in the middle, and then it's like Elizabeth Warren. It's these four white women all in corners. They're all just like, and he's just like, please, one, It's like, but it was funny. No, I mean that's what they do. These people love being stars, and so they all come out with their best, and it's all Democrat representatives, and they're like, "You're horrible. You're a racist. Look at you've got a tattoo of a cross." I mean, these people just want to trend on the internet. It's all totally ridiculous. See, it's such a show. I mean, it'll be fun to see Tulsi and RFK Jr. But it's just like all these people go up there. They're all rabid, and they're not even trying to do it to vet them. They're just doing it for personal. Like, oh, they want to get a viral clip. I mean, you can tell by the questions they were asking. They were all leading and they were all confrontational. It wasn't like, oh, we're the good, it's the good of America. We're, Trump won fair and square. He's trying to get his cabinet picks confirmed. Are they just all in it for themselves? They're obsessed with any type of notoriety. These representatives. Early prediction: if Vance is 2028 nominee, who do you think would be VP? Um, VP, I think it'd probably be Tulsi, but I don't know, man. I mean, that's just way too early speculation. I mean, I get asked that a lot. Nothing ever happens. Well, we need at least one more year of that. We need this bull run to happen for sure. Imagine something horrible happened. Oof, that's the last thing. Do you have any clips from Hegseth today? Yeah, I mean it was an edited clip of four women vetting him, and they're all in different corners, and then he's in the middle, and they're just all talking at the same time. It's like The View. But another clip that I saw where they were like, "You've got a disgusting tattoo." He's like, "Yeah, it's a cross. I'm Christian." I'm just patiently waiting for AI to decimate the influencer market, and TikTok is the rock bottom of that. Well, yeah. So the TikTok thing with influencers, TikTok is the easiest place to grow, but the only way that if you're gonna be an influencer on TikTok, the only way you can make money is through like marketing. You have to do sponsorships, or you have to push your fans to go to another. Like you get all the fun because it's very hard to just gain an organic following on YouTube, but you can get it easy on TikTok, but you can't make any money off of TikTok, but you can make money off of YouTube. So people will they'll get a huge following on TikTok because it's just people can consume so much more content. Imagine if you're watching YouTube for an hour versus TikTok for an hour. How many more videos on TikTok you're going to see because they're all 15, 20, even if it's a minute versus YouTube, you're looking at a 7-minute video, a 12-minute video, a 25, podcasts that go an hour. So it's a lot easier to grow because people can take in way more videos per session. But it's also a thing to where it's just totally saturated with a bunch of girls and stuff, and they dance and things. It's just not good. But you think AI is going to get rid of? I mean, I don't know, man. Some of the AI shit out there is pretty bad as well. There's a lot of people that are really anti-AI, which is understandable. I mean, that's a human reaction to be anti-AI. I can respect that, honestly, but there's a lot of people that hate AI. Technically, we can't disprove that there is an alternate universe where you're a liberal with the name privileged ginger sweetie Biden won. There's no proof of election fraud. My liberal arc is gonna be epic. What if I just went on a liberal arc? How many? I'd get like a 10% like rate. Get like 1% like rate. Most people who make money off sponsorships on TikTok are women. Yeah, I haven't even been on TikTok since really like the pandemic, I would say. But I do watch YouTube Shorts. I mean, it's basically the same thing, but I feel like TikTok is definitely more. Feels like YouTube Shorts is big YouTubers that just condense their videos and also like animal videos. That's mainly what it is. What people don't understand about the ban is the bill has to pass House and Senate, and the president can still veto, which means no the law. Yeah, what you're saying is interesting because you know what? I actually think there is a. Hold on, I was gonna look at through some of this stuff. Look at this. Look at this Coke can. That'd be a nice. That'd be a lot of money. That's a rare Diet Coke can there. What if Trump put it on eBay? Trump just received the first presidential commemorative inaugural Diet Coke. Imagine he just drank it. Elon Musk expected to be given office space. Oh my goodness. Oh god. Are we really surprised? But what was I gonna go to? Oh, I don't even have it pulled up here. There is a market for TikTok, and I think it shot way up. But you're right. I mean, Trump. I mean, it's not a guarantee. It's really not a guarantee it's going to get banned, but it did shoot up recently. 64% chance. I mean, Trump said that he doesn't want it banned, though. No. He said he doesn't want it banned now. Originally, Trump wanted it banned. Then I think he changed his mind. Then he changed his mind again. Then he changed his mind again. Like, I think that's what happened, but I actually doesn't want it banned. You're right. Ohio State must pound the run heavy against Notre Dame. No, I think you'd be playing into Notre Dame's hand if they did that. I think they should just play really more pass heavy on first down. Seems to be when they're successful is when they throw the ball on first down and then run later in the game. I mean, Notre Dame is going to want to limit possessions just overall, just like Michigan did against Ohio State. So it's going to be a bit of a different game for Ohio, kind of what Texas did, but not entirely. Like Notre Dame's really going to lean in on time of possession, trying to have extended drives, third down conversions. I mean, that's how they're going to win that game. Is you're good on third down, you're good on fourth down, and you have like two really prolonged, like 8 to 9 minute drives. Big Mike not going to the inauguration. Wow, what a sore loser. Wait, they said something about her being in Hawaii or something. Did you see the clip of Canadians celebrating like crazy when they heard Trudeau gave his resignation? Yeah, I've seen a few clips of that. I mean, they hate Trudeau now. It's really crazy. XRP again, really? Come on. Normal Coke? Yeah, but you drink normal Coke, that's when you gain weight. That's why people drink diet. Coke Zero is yeah, Coke Zero is better than regular diet soda or regular diet Coke, I would say. But it depends. I do think it tastes more like the original Coke. Diet Coke is like a neutered version of it, but people sometimes like that over the Coke Zero. You played against Trevion Henderson in high school. I don't. I mean, that's possible. What did he go? Virginia. He went to high school in Virginia, I think. Trump is that a Trump Pepe coin or Trump Pay coin on Sol? Yeah, dude, we don't need any more Trump coins. We don't need Trump coins coming in and stealing volume from my picks. We don't need that. You got your Trump coin, you're trying to shout it out. We get it, man. I mean, there's like 5,000 Trump coins. Come on. Investigation about the Rothschild family. Yeah, that would actually be because I want to do more so videos that a lot of people haven't done. People were saying, "Oh, do the USS Liberty video," but I know Candace Owens already did that, so that might be something to look into. That's possibly a good idea to look into that. Because you can do these videos now and they don't demonetize you, they don't do anything, but you just can't monetize the videos. The Mexican Coke with yeah, dude, Mexican Coke is a real thing, and you go to Mexico and it's all Coke. They drink Coke like water. I mean, instead of water bottles, it's just Coke everywhere. How about Pepsi Zero Sugar? I don't know if I maybe had that once or twice. Pepsi Zero. I mean, I used to just drink regular Pepsi. Now I really don't drink any type of Pepsi. I normally did like Pepsi better than Coke when I was younger. I think, yeah. I mean, it's like it's a less aggressive taste, I feel like, than Coca-Cola. Is it possible Panama will be willing to give up the ports leading into the canal instead of the entire canal zone itself, allowing the country to not be split into two? Yeah, well, I don't think the country would necessarily be split. It's just more so the United States wants just the canal itself. We're not really taking any territory. I mean, you can say, well, that's territory, but it's more so just an item in a country. Think of it like that. But I mean, worst case scenario, and this is why, what Trump does is he's more forceful and it's just smart if Canada is gaining, or excuse me, if China is gaining influence within that zone, isn't it smart to bully Panama and say, listen, we built this thing for you guys. Minimum, you guys need to get China out of there. I don't know why I keep calling them Canada. But I mean, is that makes it makes total sense to do that. But then liberals like they get angry about it. They're like, it'll never happen. Well, I mean, Trudeau is not out yet. He can still F us in the next 2 to 3 months. Yeah, but he's done, dude. He is done. He resigned. And when you're talking about the Liberal Party having power, is that what you're talking about? They still have power. Um, I mean, it's all irrelevant. That conservative, yeah, Pierre, he's they're gonna get like 60 to 70% of the seats in Canada. Is that correct? Because I think you're Canadian. You said. I mean, it is going to be a conservative, I guess a Canadian conservatism, which is different, but still it's going to be more conservative in Canada. So that's going to be a different element in factoring in just geopolitics. Do you think they will try to stop the inauguration? No. No, it's the same thing as genuine. It is like this certification. It's all bullshit. Whenever they say anything, I maybe I'll find because those videos do very well when you just see crazy people. But I'm sure there are. I've seen some TikToks of like liberals saying they're not going to do the inauguration, but no, it's all total bullshit. It's the exact same thing. There were crazy cuckoo people. Whatever happened to Jamie Raskin? What a clown that dude is. What a just irrelevant. He said he was going to stop it, and then nobody heard of anything from him for like the past 2.5 months. He's going to stop the certification because Trump. The Constitution says if you have an insurrection, you can't be president. Remember they were saying that? And then what happened? Is it safe to visit Mexico? It depends where you go in Mexico. We used to own the Panama Canal. We're basically getting it back. Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a way you can view it. That's definitely a Trump type way you can view it. Obviously, it is a situation to where we willingly gave it up. I mean, it was the wrong move to give it up. You would still want to have influence there, but when they gave it up, and it was a different time. But I agree. I mean, we built the damn thing. It's like it's just tough because they rely on it so much for their economy. I don't know who built the expansion onto the canal. I don't even know if Panama used money from I don't know where that money came from because it was like $7 billion. Can they really afford that? I guess. But I saw that they made an expansion. He could do executive orders. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a lame duck period. There's really not a ton that the leadership does during that. I mean, it's more so looking out for themselves when they get into a lame duck period. Will Antifa be at the inauguration? Boy, whatever happened to Antifa? They disappeared the past few years. Knock on wood. No, I don't think there's going to be a big problem with them. It'll be interesting to see the crowd size with Trump. Obviously, we'll see how many people show up there. I think it's going to be better than 2016. Honestly, who do you got? Ravens Bills. That really should be the AFC Championship, man. Ravens Bills is a great game. I mean, I think the Ravens are a more complete team, but the Bills are at home. I mean, it's basically like a pick 'em. I know that. I would say slightly lean towards the Bills. Isn't the canal deteriorating? I don't think so. I mean, they just built an extension onto it in like 2014, 2015 if you look it up. And it costs like $7 billion because that's their like number one source of economy is the tolls from the ships. Because it's an amazing cut through. And I mean, it cost a lot of money to build in the first place. Can't wait for Gayer, North Dakota to join us. You're talking about Canada. I mean, I don't know about that's happening, man. Honestly, I would be surprised if that happens. It's just they don't really want it. It's I think it's leverage. I think Greenland is happening. I mean, you remember we had that whole debate about I remember I don't know if anyone in the chat was here. I had an entire discussion with people from the chat about Greenland, probably back in like August, I want to say, before Trump even won. And it's just funny how it actually ends up happening. Did you hear what happened to the South Korean president? What did he? I mean, I'm guessing he's gone after the stunt that he pulled. Favorite vacation spot in the U.S. I mean, I've been to Florida. I guess I've been to Florida. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Chicago. I've vacationed a lot outside the U.S., but inside not a ton. DC. I mean, just this common spots. Colorado. If you could interview one person on your YouTube channel, who would you pick? Well, I mean, that's a strategic question, is it not? You're trying to grow your channel as much as possible, I guess. I mean, I wonder if you compared just in general, who gets more viewership. I mean, I guess it depends if they censor it, because sometimes they were censoring the Trump interviews between Trump and Musk, who gets more viewership. But I mean, dude, honestly, you do an interview like that, you're not gonna be able to ask real questions, and it's nothing against, but that's just the way it is. Greenland is a masterstroke. Yeah, Greenland is such and that's why Trump's beating on the drum so hard. It's such an amazing get, and it makes so much sense. Have you been to Europe? No, I haven't. I've been to a lot of islands, not Europe though. Europe is like, Europe's a real commitment from the United States, man. That's a long plane ride. Greenland easy, it's happening. Panama Canal not happening without war. Yeah, I mean, I think Panama's going to try and make it to where the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And that's not even in terms of war, it's more so in terms of how it makes the United States look like diplomatically throughout the world. Like if we took it by force, it would be seen as like a real negative. I mean, maybe it wouldn't matter, but I think that's probably what Panama would try, because you're right, Greenland is a much different situation than the canal. Libs still telling themselves the election was close. Well, I mean, if you go by popular vote, I guess, but what they've done is they've coped by saying, and this is what happened. You look at states like Texas and Florida, they swung heavily, but the swing states really didn't swing that much. They were still the swing states were still close. Like, because the thing is, if you were to tell me Trump would win Texas by 13 or 14, I would say he probably went. Although there's really not correlation there. The Rust Belt is just always so close. You couldn't even say that. A Donald Trump interview. Yeah, that's. I don't think Trump's doing really any interviews for a while, honestly. Remember, he did all those interviews right before the election. But I mean, for someone, I mean, there's no way. You would have to. It's not happening. I'm not a cruel man, but the people in California were warned repeatedly by multiple people what would happen if they voted the way they did. But their hatred for Trump, love for DEI, love for abortions, they voted anyways. Well, and I mean, that whole fire situation is just, I mean, we're told over and over again, and this was my main take. It's like, California is the best country in history. It carries the United States. Without California, the U.S. would do nothing. That's what liberals always say because of how liberal California is, and then they say they have all the GDP. Well, then why can they not manage a fire properly when all the warning signs are there? They're all there. This is ridiculous. They're like, oh my god, this is a once in a. No, it's not. This happened before. Like, what is the actual excuse for that situation? I just, it's crazy to me. And they try and say, well, conservatives already say they pay too much, in taxes in California. Well, why don't you spend it efficiently rather than you're spending it on DEI bullshit? All this, none of it matters. It's all crap. You've got one of the main leaders of the fire department in California. It's some woman. She's like diversity. I don't even remember the quote, but it was like, I love. She wants diversity and only diversity, and the more diversity, the more minorities, the better. And so it's just like that type of stuff, that mentality. When you're funding things like that, there's no excuse for it. There really isn't. But now whenever we say anything, it's, oh, you can't say anything. Yes, you can't say anything, man. You're racist. You're taking advantage of this tragedy. But they can go out and ban guns and say they want to ban guns after a tragic shooting that kills innocent people, but we can't say anything about these fires when it's totally mismanaged, and they brag about having the biggest GDP. They have the biggest GDP, but they can't manage a fire. And we understand the weather and it creates these things in the wind, but it's like, this was something that people said was going to happen. It's not even like this is like, oh my goodness, it's you can't do anything. No, you can plan for this type of thing. Gulf of America has a nice ring to it. Yeah, you know what I said? I said I think it should be called the American Gulf. American Gulf, not the Gulf of America. But I mean, it's either one, I guess. I mean, it's just kind of funny that Trump wants to do that as well. I mean, it just shows you that Trump is going more symbolic with all these changes. When he even goes to far as to say that. Thoughts on another situation like what happened in 2003 where a Republican wins governorship of California? Well, I think there's going to be at least some shift, maybe a similar New York type situation where it's very close, but the Republican loses. That's what I would guess right now. It's such a massive shift that would be. I mean, California was already shifting. We saw during the election. But it would have to be a pretty big shift, man, even though it's easier for, you would think, for a governor to win than a Republican candidate for president to win the state outright. Will Elon Musk buy TikTok 7%? That was a weird thing that came up about Elon buying TikTok. Pete Hegseth up to 92% chance. Yeah, remember when DeSantis was like, people were saying DeSantis was going to be it? For a bit, they were. The ones I feel bad for are the ones who voted against these politicians but did not have the means to escape their policies. As for the other ones, let them face the consequences. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad situation. You don't want to gloat about it, but it's I mean, this was something that people warned about. I was always told that the Electoral College should be abolished or reduced, but it's not fair for smaller states. No, 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 no. I don't know who you were told by that by a liberal or something. That's not true at all. No, that's the last thing this country needs, is to have horrible. I mean, you see the states that would have supreme power would be in New York and in California. Those states have been run into the ground and they're taxed to shit. Why would we want those states deciding anything? It's ridiculous. They're horrible decision makers. We don't want those states deciding, having ultimate power. And they say, oh, all those people are diverse. Well, why do they vote the exact same way? That's the other thing. It's diversity of race, but it's not diversity of opinion. They're all liberal. But that's the last thing this country needs, is to switch that. But, they're still campaign. They still want to do that, obviously, because they know it would be better, even though Trump won the popular vote. We can easily move Silicon Valley or Hollywood out of California and cripple their economy overnight. Well, Hollywood, I don't think so. I don't know. Well, Hollywood in general is a fucking mess now anyways. They don't even produce good movies, but Silicon Valley, Musk is moving he's moved his companies to Texas. And didn't Zuckerberg do that as well? Or I heard something about Zuckerberg moving headquarters to Texas. I don't remember. Please don't take me as a cruel man, but the voters vote repeatedly against our freedom, and when this is over, they'll likely continue to vote for them. They're the same ones who turned Colorado into California. Well, yeah, look at Colorado and that shift. You're right. It's from a lot of Cali people moving for, I guess, lower taxes. Go Diamondbacks, best rotation in MLB. Boy, that's an interesting donation. I mean, I appreciate the donation. It's Diamondbacks baseball. Now the Diamondbacks made the World Series a few years ago. Fetterman versus Vance 28. I don't think they would go with Fetterman. They're not going to. And also another thing with Fetterman, and this is just the reality of it. The way, he's just not. I don't think he's capable to be a nominee at this point. Just looking at, I just don't see it. You know, the people would not vote for him. Let's just say that. I mean, I understand Republicans now are starting to like Fetterman because he's agreeing with Trump and stuff, but I don't see him. You could say, well, he's got a lot of independent support, but liberals certainly are not going to go for that. I'll say that. Founders made the Electoral College because small states had no say. Otherwise, the big states would just dominate elections. Yeah, well, that's the problem with liberals is they hate the founding fathers and they think things need to be updated. That's the issue. The conservative states in Canada could be split to keep the Electoral College balanced. I mean, look at U.S. map. It would match North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas. It was split in what way exactly? I mean, no matter what. So listen, basically the way you would split California, I would assume, would probably be into four different states. Or I think what the other thing that they could do is the three northern territory, like Yukon, Northeast territories, and the other one, those three would probably just stay territories because they don't have the population, and then or they would stay provinces, whatever you want, or they would just be made territories. And then the bottom provinces could potentially be changed to states. And yes, there would be a few Republican states, but still, the electoral, when you split up all the electoral votes, it would mainly be a liberal majority in term. But you're right, there would be some conservative states like where Alberta and Saskatchewan are. But I think, in thinking about it, I think that's probably what they would do rather than splitting up because if you split them into four states, they're all huge in terms of land area. So you could potentially, the three upper provinces would just be turned into territories, I think. But I don't think Trump's going to do it, but I'm saying it would just make sense in terms of population. There's no way those upper territories have the population to be states. Otherwise, they would have to be added on, combined together to be one state, and it would be massive in terms of the land area, but there'd be no population still, even with the three provinces in the northern area of Canada. So I think those three northern provinces would probably just be turned into U.S. territories, and then potentially the bottom provinces, that's where all the populations are. Calgary, Montreal, Quebec, Toronto. You guys looking at XRP? You got to stop. You got to stop with XRP, man. This is, you'd say it's a troll, but people do love XRP. They love it. I mean, they're looking for a 1x. They're looking for a 1x. Thoughts on Elon interested in buying the Minnesota Vikings? That's got to be fake. It's very rare for a sports team to go up for sale nowadays because they just appreciate so well. Moo Moo the Bull. Yeah, I've seen that coin. I mean, I'm not buying it, but that's probably gonna be it's probably gonna be a good play for the bull run. But I didn't buy it. Why don't you engage in the comment section? This is what I'm doing right now, is it not? This is engagement. This is me responding to comments. Well, I guess it's not the chat. It's the same thing. But if you're talking about on videos, I think it kind of litters the video. It's just strange. I find it, I don't know, this is just a personal thing, but you guys, some of you guys will understand this. You go to a comment section, you see the creator reply under things, you just find it off, you find it weird, honestly. So I don't reply to people unless it's like, you know, I see it and it's like, yeah, I'll just reply. Sometimes I troll reply and say first and stuff, but I just always thought it was kind of weird to reply, like as the creator of the content, to reply to my own video. I always thought it was supposed to be an organic thing where people just respond to each other in the comments. Not sure if I agree with you on Fetterman, but we'll see. You think Fetterman's going to be the Democratic nominee, man? I highly doubt that. I don't think he'll switch parties, as rumors have it. I could be wrong about Fetterman, though. Well, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Fetterman's going to be the Democratic nominee? Is that what you're saying? I mean, you said Vance versus Fetterman. I don't see any chance that the Democrats would allow Fetterman. I mean, you can say he's more likable for conservatives. I'll agree with you there. But you also have to think about Fetterman. He does have limitations here, let's be honest, in terms of like being an elite politician to actually get a nomination. Go Buckeyes, even though I wanted the Ducks to beat Ohio. Yeah, I mean, I think Ohio State's going to beat Notre Dame for sure. It kind of feels like just like Notre Dame, there's like one shot they have, and that's to play like a perfect defensive game and control the ball and get a bunch of third down conversions. Their third down conversion rate has to be like 65-70%. How do you think the Rays will fare at Steinbrenner Field? I think opposing teams will love it. They hated playing in that dome. The Rays, honestly, I mean, it's going to feel like, you remember when the Blue Jays had to do that because of the COVID situation in Canada? Like, they couldn't even go to Canada because of the restrictions or whatever across the border, so they had to play in Buffalo at like a AAA park. So, I mean, I think it'll be better offensively for them as well. Like, the wall is really, it's like the same dimension as Yankee Stadium. So, although I don't know, to be fair with Yankee Stadium has a really deep, like, both the gaps are really deep and also left field in general, I think. Yeah, left field is pretty deep as well. It's like kind of, people think Yankee Stadium is this great hitter's park. It's actually not true just because of the fence and right. But I mean, I think they're going to have no home field advantage, but they normally, actually they normally do have kind of a decent home field advantage because nobody likes playing on that field in the dome. Thoughts on MLB eliminating the Twins? What in the hell? Maybe they should rename them the George Floyd Twins. What do you mean eliminating the Twins? I don't understand. Eliminating the name the Twins, or the Minnesota Twins moving, or just the Minnesota Twins just ceasing to exist, going bankrupt? I mean, what? iPhone or Android? iPhone. Who gets Greenland in 100 years when the United States breaks up into several nation states? 100 years, who gives a fuck what happens in 100 years? Yeah, you think the United States will split up and it's inevitable? Yeah, it might be inevitable. Several nation states, huh? Who would get Greenland? I don't know. Whoever's powerful in Europe at the time. Poland will probably take over. I don't know. There's a big movement for Poland. It's like Poland's based. Greater Idaho is a good start for redrawing the state borders if Dems really want better electoral college. What do you mean? That would not be good for Dems, though. Greater Idaho would give Republicans one more electoral vote, I think, if they did it. It's not a ton of population. It's a lot of land. But to me, like the whole Greater Idaho thing, it's very hard to... I mean, I understand the idea of it. I did a video on it a little while back and looking into it and stuff, and they do have support with a bunch of the counties in Oregon, like most of the counties that are needed to do it. The problem is the state has to sign off on it, and Oregon would be losing a bunch of resources from it. But it's like, it's this weird thing to where the entirety of the state's politics are decided by the coast. And then you've got all of this land, and it's all the farmers, and it's all the ranch people, conservatives. I mean, they have zero say, but they've got all the land and they produce the most in terms of food and everything like that. So it's this weird unbalanced dynamic with Oregon right now. But like the thing is, if you did go with the greater Idaho, you understand Oregon would be like this. It'd be like the coast and then Portland, and it'd be like it'd be so small. It would look gerrymandered. Now I'm not saying it really wouldn't be gerrymandered though, because it would just be gaining one electoral vote. But I'm just saying like the borders would be so messed up. Like, but I understand the problem that arises when you have a pretty large state by land area, and the coast just controls the entire state and all of the land because all the people live there. And so you've got all the people that live within the land and own a bunch of the land pissed off that they have no say in their politics and the people that they elect and the policies that go into place. So it's one of those conservative versus Democrat things. Do you think they'll nominate Mark Cuban? I don't think so. I mean, it's really early. I do think Cuban's going to run though. Based off of his well, he kind of had a weird situation. If you guys saw, what happened with Cuban, he endorsed Harris and he started like doing this half-ass like campaigning for Harris, trying to be the Democrat Elon, and then Harris gets crushed and then he deletes everything. And now I don't think I haven't seen Cuban do much of. He's smart to where he'll go away for a while and try and let it, dissipate the hate against him. And then he'll probably try and come out and say, I want to have a good relationship with Trump and I hope he does well for the country. That's my guess on what Cuban will say. And then Cuban will start his liberal rhetoric when Trump does something that mainstream Democrats don't like and they start criticizing him for it and stuff. And, that's going to be happening soon, right after he gets in, probably. How much do you bench? Like 305. You're happy about the Secretary of Defense? Yeah, very well spoken. You think Zuck switched up after Trump got into office? Well, what do you mean by that? So there's a few different things with Zuckerberg. Obviously on the surface you look at it, it's like this is pathetic. I mean, the guy is just kissing Trump's ass because he won. But if you look at Zuckerberg and his action, he looked like he was becoming more libertarian in the summer, from what I saw. But obviously, with Trump winning, it's just going to be times 10, and so it looks bad. I mean, Zuckerberg, these guys, for their business, but he's going like balls to the wall now. He's like taking all, he's like going full based, and now so it's starting to seem fake. It's like now it's like it's inorganic with Zuckerberg. It's like you're not this, you're forcing it now. Boy, people are coping that they can't bench 305. That's no, it's. I mean, somebody asked me that the last stream I did, and I lied about it then. But yeah. Ravens, Bills, winners and score. I'll take Bills 31-28. Would you make a video redrawing the United States? Did you see that video? There's a dude who did do that, and people they got angry. It was not a good video, but a dude like on election day he like redrew the United States or something, and basically the normal stuff is let's combine North in South Dakota, let's combine West Virginia and Virginia. But I mean, I don't really say. I think the states are. It's just I'm so conditioned to see the map a certain way. If you change something, I would kind of get a little angry just because I'm so conditioned to everything. Even Rhode Island being, although you could just get rid of Rhode Island. Honestly, it's like look how small it is. Get rid of two liberal senators. Do you think the Browns draft Cam Ward? I mean, it's looking that way right now, honestly, man. But I think they're probably gonna trade down. But right now, it's looking SPX 6900 to 10 billion a lock. Dude, I keep finding these new SPX like branch off coins, but yeah, the main one I think the main one's a lock to 10 billion for sure. Oh, for sure. Well, what is that like an 11x from here, a 10x? No, it's like a 10x because I think it went over a billion. What's the poly market odds of Mark Cuban transitioning into a woman? Um, I mean, I think it depends on if he still wears the glasses or not. The glasses make up a lot of the feminine look for Mark. I think there's a poly market odds on Cuban, like how big his glasses will get. That's the only odds I saw for Cuban. You maxed at 365 vid on your page. That's impressive if you get 365. You want me to do a live bench session? Put your money where your mouth is, man. Why don't you do one? Why don't you do a live bench session, brother? Why did you sell your SPX? Because I got tired of holding it and it was linear for like 7 months. You don't understand. If you look at the graph, it was linear for 7 months. I'm serious. It was actually going down. But it was a dumb decision, but it doesn't matter. You get over it. Thoughts on Musk gamer fraud BS? I don't know anything about that. I would imagine it's somebody's playing for Musk because like because that's what people were originally saying. Like, how can Musk even play all and get this gamer score? I mean, you've got people playing 24/7. And Musk is on the leaderboard, and Musk hires someone to play for him. I think probably, but I don't know if that was what you were referencing. It's good having North and South Dakota states. You get four senators. Well, also it'd be too big of a land area when you think about it. It's just you have to split them up. 9/11. Yeah, I'll do another 9/11 video. I'm working on a video about World War II right now. DTR had one touchdown, 10 inter. Yeah, DTR was historically bad. He was terrible. If you can bench 300, I also have a 10-inch dong. Well, listen, it's 305, not 300. Did you see Kimmel crying again? Yeah, what's with all these liberals fake crying? It's just all fake. Like the dude is clearly fake crying. It's theatrical. It's a performance, and he does it like it's like this puppy eye, like oh, and it's just so pathetic. It's just Cuban or Kimmel is just pathetic. He really is. And it's the same script. It's the same crying. Trump, Trump, Trump. Remember when he cried after the election? And it's like, it's all fake. The dude has to film himself standing in front of a live audience and he has to pretend and like, just like, fight the tears up. Like, oh my God. And like, because that's all he knows going into the episode, he has to cry. So right then and there, it's fake. And then it's just like it's like he's not even teary eyed, and then he has to like act like he's teary eyed, so he'll just like blink a lot to make it seem like he's crying, like for dramatic effect. Dude, you're a comedian. What the fuck are you talking about? California completely mismanaged the situation. Everybody knew it. There were experts saying it was going to be a huge problem, and Trump called out Newsom. Oh my God, a Democrat got called out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Why don't you cry some more? You need more Tower 7 content. I want to redo that Tower 7 video. I got to redo that video. But it's hard with Tower 7 because there's such conflicting reports. I realize with this type of stuff, it's better to just present both sides. And another thing is trying to find every last fact on these situations because you want to add proper context to it. Tower 7 didn't exist. Yeah, it was a hovering billboard. Is China attacking during Trump's term or after? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other things that will determine what China does, including like right now it seems like they're trying more diplomatic means on taking, but that whole situation is just so slow. It's materializing so slow. So I don't know if they will. I mean, preferably you would want to wait till after because it would just mire Trump. I mean, it certainly it gives Trump an opportunity. It gives Trump an opportunity to have a good response, but it's a situation to where when you're leading and something like that happens, it's almost like a no-win situation. No matter what you do, people are going to be pissed off. But I mean, you don't want that to happen during Trump's administration, but we'll see. Almost a quarter million glad I came here before. Conan was way better than the late night liberals. Conan, yeah, people say I resemble Conan. It's just lazy, man. I mean, it's because of my hair, I think. It's only because of the hair. It's just a lazy comparison. Los Angeles is more important than Western North Carolina. Yeah, remember what happened with that with the historic floods. But I mean, you know why Los Angeles gets coverage. I mean, the amount of rich people there and stuff, it's always going to get the coverage. And these are catastrophically bad fires as well. Is Newsom history? Yeah, I think Newsom in terms of like I never thought Newsom was going to be the nominee after what happened in 24. After Kamala lost, being from California, they're never going to choose someone from California. It's just not resonating with people from the Midwest. California doesn't matter in a general election at all. I don't think they're going to end up picking Newsom either way. But this response by Newsom, I think, has been even you have to judge it by what independents think because conservatives are going to pounce and liberals are going to defend it. But I think even some liberals I've seen have said that it's not a good response. But now they try to like shift the blame off of Newsom, but they still say it's a bad response. Not fire is arson. Well, it's hard to tell because you will get embers igniting. I mean, and with the powerful winds, it does happen. But you are right. I mean, you really can't tell if some of it is arson. What did the campfire say to the other campfire? We should go out sometime. Was that a dad joke? Wishing you the best, Ghost. I appreciate that comment. Thank you, man. On your FanDuel Canada site before the fires, Newsom was plus 1,000. FanDuel does political election odds. I didn't know that. He was plus 1,000. Now he's plus 2,000 to be the Democratic nominee. I'm imagining that's what you're saying. Thoughts on the next Democratic nominee? You know what? They might actually have that on here. I don't know if they do. Um, I guess they don't have it, but I would probably say Jon Stewart, honestly. But that's just who knows? Nobody even knows he's gonna run. I mean, it's impossible to predict this early. I mean, I do think they're gonna try an outsider, but it really could be anyone. There could be someone that rises. Do you think they'll go with an African American male like Cory Booker or Wes Moore? Neither of those two. I don't think so. No. I think they'll probably go with a white dude, honestly, man. But I guess it could be anyone, just whoever catches fire in 27, really. Because there's a lot of political time left before that. Plus 2,000 to win general election. Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's such a dumb bet just in terms of you're wasting money in, basically in investing into something that's not going to happen for 4 years, and you don't even know if Newsom's going to be the. It's just a terrible. I mean, imagine if you bet that. It's just like there's no reason to bet anything 4 years down the line. Dems have nobody to be a good presidential candidate. Yeah, well, someone will emerge though, and they'll all get behind him, and that's what their party does. They're very united in that. Um, so someone will emerge. AOC, I highly doubt it. She's still too liberal. She's too young. She's obnoxious. There's the country is old enough to where they wouldn't vote for her. I mean, if it was a very young country, then I mean maybe, but Jon Stewart from the Daily Show, yeah, correct, yeah. I mean, it's who knows if he's even going to run, but I know they want someone like that. I mean, but that's what liberals always do. Like when they lost in 2016, they said it was going to be somebody radical, and then it ends up being Biden. It's like give them 3 years to cool down, and then it'll probably be the most establishment liberal you can find. How fast can you put together next year's college football top? I mean, I don't know about a 20 top 25. I mean, those I saw a few different ones. It's so hard because there's still the portal. Really, Pritzker? No way. Even someone of that weight, I don't think would ever be. It just doesn't work. But also, he's a billionaire. They don't even like that. So, what did Trump and Obama discuss at the funeral? There was a lip reader person that I guess said that Trump was saying he had to tell him something in private, but it was kind of a letdown. Like the lip reader, I don't even know why Obama laughed like he did because there was no like he didn't talk about a joke or anything. I don't know. Thoughts on TikTok ban? Um, I'll go into that in a second. Always remember Dewey defeated Truman. Yes. So the thing about the TikTok ban, I mean, there's a lot of conservatives that are against it because they say, well, it's free speech and stuff. And it is like it sets maybe not a great precedent in terms of, well, this allows the government to ban other things that they don't like and stuff by just saying it's a national security threat. But a lot of this is just young kids that are pissed off that their favorite app is getting banned and they're obsessed with TikTok. And so now they're like saying, well, it's all free speech. But it's like you still have X. I mean, it's wasn't TikTok, didn't they ban like right wing shit and stuff? And didn't they censor shit? I mean, I feel like they did that as well. It's not like they're free speech. I don't understand that. So personally, I really don't. Well, I guess it could be a bad precedent. It could be a bad precedent, but it's like I don't know. I think there's a lot of young kids that are biased for TikTok because they're obsessed with the app, and now they like the Chinese are like control these young liberal kids. They're like downloading this app fully in Chinese. You can't even use the thing, but they're like, China told me to download it. It's like you can't even. The app is in Chinese. What are you downloading here? But China said it was good. Strange. Thoughts on Obama divorce speculation? Oh yeah, because Michelle's not there. I haven't heard a lot of speculation on it, but it doesn't surprise me because they haven't been together very much in public recently. TikTok is influencing kids in a bad way. Well, I mean, you could say that about a lot of social medias, to be fair. But I mean, TikTok is like, I think TikTok is crap. Just TikTok is way worse than YouTube, and just in terms of bad habits, kids developing bad habits with horrible attention spans, it's worse. IG Reels is insane. You can pretty much post anything. Yeah, I mean, dude, they all have it. You know, X has something like that to where if you go to a video and you just swipe up, it's just all videos. They all have the exact same gimmick, all of them now. All the social medias. They've all got the short form content where you swipe. So liberal kids will still download TikTok. Yeah, they're still downloading it. They can't speak Mandarin. They just I mean the app is in it's on the App Store in Chinese, the new app that they created, and and these liberal kids are like, "Oh my god, it's from the communists. It's heaven." I mean, that's what they're like. They want to suppress information and TikTok has a Wild West feel to it. Well then if they really want to suppress information, why wouldn't they also go after why would they allow Musk to buy X in the first place? That's the thing that I don't understand. If you're telling me they're doing this because they just want to suppress info, well they had full control over X, the government, the liberal, why would they allow Musk to buy Twitter? I mean, you could say well it was an error and but it's like it's so weird watching friends zone out, hopelessly scroll video to video. Yeah, and it's just constant attention and stuff. And I mean, it happens to be sometimes with YouTube Shorts. I'll say that. If we were going to acquire Greenland, study the acquisition of the U.S. Are you talking about the Virgin Islands? Did research on our territorial acquisitions in college. The Danes can play hardball just in an odd way. I'll tell you, you're talking about the Virgin Islands. I'll take a look at that. Do you think the UN or NATO is pushing for all this third world immigration? The madness in Europe started happening around the same time as the US. Well, yeah, there definitely is a central force that is and I'm not going to get too deep into this because it's not worth it, but there's a central force that's basically saying that the West needs immigrants and that it's like we need them for survival. Like it became that thing, and if you go against any form of immigration of minority groups, you're automatically not only is it bad, but you're like a threat to society. So that's what it turned into, and that's kind of how it all started. But now it's like people are starting to slowly push back to it, more so in the United States. They still kind of get mad at you for immigration. I mean, like even look at Trump. They say Trump is this like right wing crazy. Trump just wants to deport illegals and mainly criminals, and they're like, oh my god, he's so right wing. It's like he's like barely right on that issue. He wants to deport illegal immigrants. Oh my god, he's horrible. How dare he want to have borders? Even though I mean, people like Bernie Sanders agree. YouTube needs to get back to long form content. Well, I mean, they do have a lot of long form content. It's just they had to add the short form stuff because they wanted to compete with TikTok and really now IG and all of them, they all have the same thing now. Countries like Japan and Poland are mostly closed to immigrants, so they are proven wrong. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the gist of bringing in immigrants makes a country better, you want to know why that's become like a thing to where they can say it's because our population, white people, is mainly white people, it's decreasing. We're not having babies at the same rate, and that's mainly due to the new wave of feminism. So see how it all has a domino effect on each other. We're not having kids, so I mean we need more people. We have no choice. We have to bring in people now. We have to because we want to sustain. Remember, it's the same thing with Musk and Ramaswamy. We need these people in. Our GDP is they're gonna go down by zero point zero 0.01. If we don't bring in Indian immigrants, the GDP, oh my goodness, it's gonna go down. But it's like now it's crazy how I was like, man, I want America to rule the world and have a huge empire and stuff. And then you do a full 180 when you get older, and it's like, oh, it just doesn't really fucking matter. I just want America to be America. We don't need to destroy our own societal culture to placate to an increase in GDP by 0.1%. It's just what are the odds Oprah Winfrey running for president? I don't know. I mean, it's not impossible, I guess. I mean, I don't know if Oprah's really said anything about that. I know she definitely has done some political stuff. She just did something with Kamala, but didn't she like demand like $5 million or $10 million or something to do that? It's like these people are so fake to do a political event. Once we have robots, we won't need people. Robots will reduce the demand for human labor and immigrants so much. Well, I mean, you know, if we're seriously going to bring robots into the workforce, it is going to change life in America, really anywhere, significantly. I mean, it's going to affect so many different things. But I know what you're saying. You have them do the grunt work and stuff. I mean, but that's how it starts with the robots and stuff. I mean, I've even seen things where there's robots that take over entire conveyor belts, and it's like 7 jobs are now completely lost because this one machine can just do everything. And I mean, I guess that's what innovation is. But then you're talking about. I mean, the normal thing that happens, it's like, well, if it allows people to be more creative. Well, what does that mean exactly? I mean, I guess, but it's like its creativity. I feel like is mainly spurred by like needing to create something, you know. I mean, not with everyone, but if you're like most people that become really rich get really rich by, they're not already rich and then they make something to get rich because they want to be rich. So there's like an incentive there, but it's like, imagine we all just don't work and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, it's weird to think about. XRP on the rise? You're joking, right? You're kidding. Oh man. You're rich, bro. Bro, you're rich. I mean, 162 billion, but it's like, what is it going to do at 2x from here? Who remembers Yang? The Andrew Yang gang? Didn't he want to run in like the Purple Party or something? You realize the country was founded by immigrants, European immigrants. Yeah, European immigrants. Greenland has like 80 people. I mean, what is this, man? You got to stop with this. We don't need this. We don't need whatever emoji you're sending. Do you think Byron Donalds would make a good VP pick for Vance? I don't think he'd be bad. I mean, we'll see what he does the next 3-4 years here in his own political career. If he gains momentum, he'll potentially be on the short list for Vance, but it's a long ways away for even Vance to be in the position. No passports to visit Greenland soon. Yeah, visiting Greenland in the summer, they got really nice weather in the summer in Greenland. I saw a video about Native Americans coping that we took their land. Well, also, like, I don't understand what the Native American. This is just what I'm going to say on this because people really need perspective. So the Native Americans, I mean, we've built the entire country, so we're just going to give the country that we built to them. I don't understand. What do they want? I mean, we've still given them settlements and areas as well, but it's like we've built the entire country. If European key people never came here, I mean, do we really think America would be a 1 millionth of the superpower that it is? I mean, I'm just, they want the land back, but the entire country was built by European people. So I'm trying to understand what even the trade off is. Denmark seems to be scared they're losing control over this. Well, yeah, Denmark is flailing right now. They're flailing. They although I will look up something. Somebody told me to look something up. Maybe Denmark has more leverage than I thought, but they Greenland does not want to be part of Denmark anymore. So there's, I mean, it's very hard for them. XRP to $200. Do you know what the market cap of that would be, brother? Come on. XRP is not going to $200. It's not even going to $10. Because liberals view Native Americans as saints who can do nothing wrong. Well, also the other thing is they view Native Americans as one big tribe. They were all different tribes fighting for the same land, and you'd have one tribe take over land, and the other tribe would take it over from them, and they'd all fight each other. It's not like they were unified, like they were an actual country. The United States just took over a country. Then it's just not how it worked at all. So it's just a lot of selective. We hate America. We hate white people. It's all it is. Been watching any college basketball, some good games today. Yeah, I did see there were. The SEC is just crazy now. How did the SEC get so good in college basketball? Was it NIL? I mean, it's funny they say that's why the SEC is worse in football now because NIL. But I mean, why does the ACC now suck in basketball? They're terrible. You have a feeling that Dems will go with Kamala again? It's not gonna happen, man. I'll tell you, it's not going to. Summer temperature is 5 to 10 degrees Celsius in the summer in Greenland. Dude, that would be nice. In the lower 48, it's hot everywhere in the summer. How's your NFL bracket challenge going? I think I went how many games were there? I think I went 4-2. So I mean, okay, I guess. Who's getting new arenas or stadiums? Bills and Titans are getting new stadiums. Arenas, I know Oklahoma City is getting a new arena. The 76ers are getting a new arena at some point. Yeah, the NBA, it's kind of a lull because they just opened the new Intuit Dome. Would you ever move to Columbia, South Carolina? You know, I've heard a lot of people move to South Carolina. It's a very like lukewarm type climate, I feel like. So both South Carolina and North Carolina are very it seems like appealing climates for many Americans, but I probably would. I mean, I have vacationed in Hilton Head before, but no, I don't think I'd move there. But I have, there's a lot of people moving to North Carolina. I don't know if there's a lot of people moving to South Carolina, but I know those are definitely like lukewarm climates for people in the United States. They're good because it never gets that cold unless there's like a crazy dip in the jet stream, but it gets cold enough to where it's not constantly hot all the time and humid. Although I do think it does get humid there. It's not hot in Pikes Peak. Well, you're talking about, involving mountains there. Obviously, the mountains are not going to be as hot, but pretty much I mean, there are some cities in California that only gets like 70 degrees, but pretty much everywhere it does get hot. Because the thing is, as I was looking, I was like, there's got to be at least a cold in the lower 48. There's got to be at least one cold city, but there's really not. Like, seriously, there's not. There's like a few cities that are like the high is a 70, which I guess is not terrible, like 72. It's like every city in the lower 48 gets, I mean, San Francisco, I guess, if you're on the coastline and stuff, but I do remember San Francisco one time. I went to San Francisco back in 2016 and it was like 56 degrees, but it was kind of like shitty, honestly. It was this weird thing. It was like we went on vacation in June from Ohio to California, but it got colder. And normally I like the cold, but San Francisco, it's like it gets really foggy and stuff, and it's like 55 degrees. How often do blizzards happen in your area? Not very often anymore. Well, I mean, yeah, not very. Blizzards are rare in general in most places, even that get snow. I mean, blizzards are like, a foot and a half, 2 feet. With this, with the. No, I mean we don't get them often. Missouri weather sucks, but yeah, I mean Missouri's kind of like a warmer type climate, I guess. Kind of, it's got to be similar like Nashville and stuff. Even the mountains out west get warm. I know. Yeah, you got to go real high up. One time I went to a mountain in Colorado, I think. Yeah, Colorado. And during the summer, and there it was fun. It was cool to see snow in the summer. It was kind of cool. San Francisco gets cold as fuck at night, really in the morning and at night. I mean, that's when it's the coldest time is, and then it reaches peak temperature, max like high temperature at like 3. The lowest temperature is between like 5 and 6 a.m. during the day. The lowest temperature. I mean, obviously at night it's also because the sun's not out, but and the highest peak it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By loudly pumping Greenland, Panama, and Canada, Trump can restore U.S. prestige at power while simultaneously retreating from Ukraine. It's legit 40 chess. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Ukraine thing is a little bit different. I mean, that's going to be a fair negotiation. But I mean, we're really not retreating from Ukraine. We're just trying to end. I mean, it's like it's really just Ukrainian soldiers fighting. There's nothing, no Americans involved. Cardano 88. I wouldn't be buying Cardano, man. Cardano's a really high cap coin. 36 billion. I mean, 4 or 5x from here. Maybe goes to $8-10. I don't know. Do you think the top for crypto is Q1 25? Hopefully not. Hell no, dude. Because it's Q1 right now. No, we want Leadville. Yeah, I think that's one of the places in Colorado. Um, we want it to be Q3 maybe. Q late, hopefully not Q1 unless you were talking about 2026. Loved your live stream for the election. Will you tell Chris John to have another drink for his 30th birthday? Well, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Go ahead and have a drink. Trump has an opportunity to solidify himself as one of the great presidents. Absolutely. I mean, he's got a few different things. You end the war, you get Greenland, the economy jump started again, and I mean liberals will argue it already is, but it isn't how they remember it. But it's we might see a double top this year. Let's not do that again. We saw that in 21. Retreating might not be the best word, but I meant is U.S. might look like it's not getting much in those negotiations and spent a lot of money. So, well, I mean, to be fair with that situation, um, basically what the United States is getting is they're getting a weakened Russian army. That's basically what they spent money on to weaken Russia's army without American bloodshed. That's what I would say. And also, it's not they defended Ukraine. I mean, it's like you really don't want a foreign adversary to take over a country. I understand conservatives are they don't hate Russia like liberals do, but you still don't want that. It wouldn't be ideal. I mean, I don't think it'd be the worst thing, but it would not be ideal. When's the next DG COD video? Wow, yeah, that was a rare video I did. I don't. Maybe I'll do another one. I mean, I could do a lot on Black Ops One Zombies. I'll tell you that much. What's going on with time change? Yeah. So if they're gonna do anything, I would imagine it's going to be they're going to fully shift to daylight savings. That would be my guess, or they're just gonna leave it as it is. But I do think Trump or the Doge, Musk and Ramaswamy. By the way, Ramaswamy fell off the face of the earth. I feel like Ramaswamy hasn't said anything the past month or he's kind of shut up, or like the past week ever since that event with him and the visas. But I think what's happening with it is they're probably going to switch it to daylight savings time all the time, and there'll be no standard time anymore. But that's because they didn't want it to be dark at night at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Any feelings on what might be going on in 2026? Seems like a strange year, a lot going on. Are you talking about the midterms or just 26 in general? 26, I want to say, is the World Cup in the United States. I mean, that's just a sport, but what party would government represent? He'd consider himself a libertarian, I would say. Vivek Rage quit. Elon Zuck 28. Oh god. Yeah, that's what we need. Billionaires uniting. Did you see the video of the old guy who protected his house from the fires with just a water hose? Yeah, an interesting thing I saw about the fires is you can actually do that with a hose because the fires start extremely small. They start from basically nothing. And the only reason they actually ignite is because people evacuate, which is smart. You should evacuate, but so you are able to sometimes defend your house with just a garden hose. More life updates. Yeah, that was a good fun video to do. Are you going to stream Trump's inauguration and the national championship? Yeah, I'll probably stream both, but I'll take a break in between Trump's inauguration during the day and then the national title. Man, that'll be just like old times. That'll be just like not as good as the not as big as the election, but that'll be a day where it's kind of a little bit similar. If Notre Dame wins, will you do a full special video on their greatness? Hell no. Elon will push for legislation to abolish U.S. birth as a requirement for U.S. president. Yeah, that's not going to happen though. That would never come to pass. But even if it did, Musk would not win, dude. There's too many conservatives now that it's just not going to happen. XRP gonna break $3. I mean, congratulations. Will Marcus Freeman, is he an NFL caliber coach? I mean, possibly. Normally, when they make that jump, it doesn't really work out well for the college coach when they jump to the NFL. I don't think he'll do it. I feel like he's still got a few more years at Notre Dame, but natural born citizen is not in Constitution. Uno reverse. Is SUI a good altcoin? I think it's just a high cap, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I don't invest in the coins that are, I'm mainly in meme coins. Honest, I'm in a few AI projects, but mainly meme coins at this point. Big thanks for being honest about Elon and the dancing Israeli. So many YouTubers and influencers are silent on these issues. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of conservatives talked about the Elon stuff, and to be fair, they were against the Elon stuff, but Mike McCarthy or Ben? Nah, not Mike McCarthy, man. Come on, Mike McCarthy gonna be hired by who? You're coming to the conclusion that Zuckerberg is legit and Musk is a fraud. You're all in on Meta stock. Meta, really? But that's the thing. Like, didn't he change the company name? Like, is Facebook's name now Meta? These Billy, they always change the name. They always got to change the name. I think no, I think it is still called Facebook. They might have changed it for like a little bit and then they changed it back. Zuck is legit, bro. I think he was troll. He's trolling. He said that stuff like that a lot. Would you live in Greenland, 350K tax free per year for 5 years? No, I wouldn't do that honestly, because it's too. I mean, I wouldn't mind visiting Greenland. Visiting Greenland, I mean, but it is a long plane trip. It's too isolated. Hagseth confirmed question. They're all going to be confirmed. They're all going to be confirmed. I think the only one they might make a big deal about is Gabbard. Oh, you talking about AI agents? Yeah, those have been all the rage. I know that. AI agents, huh? Do a vlog at Greenland. That's an expensive video, sir. Wouldn't Greenland residents benefit from the high-paying oil and mining jobs? Absolutely. This is why it makes sense for everyone. The United States is going to infuse their economy with money. There's going to be an inflow of money and investment into their area. We have a base in Greenland. Yeah, in World War II, develop put there in World War II. We do have a base. But I mean, it's like, of course, Greenland's going to be nice to us. They kind of have no choice. I mean, that's what happens with all these Western European countries, and in other countries, they have to be nice to us. It's just the United States power is so massive. Danes will be willing to play ball if we give them some leases in Greenland. I mean, you're right. It might end up being some type of deal where you have to massage them, and I said that might have to happen. What is my perception on the Brett Cooper Daily Wire debacle? I mean, I, it's strange that I mean, I guess they're saying she can't talk about it. Brett Cooper can't talk about it, but it is odd that she hasn't said anything really. But I guess she's still under some type of no talking NDA or something. But I mean, to me, it looked like with her last episode, it looked like they forced her out because she was not too happy, and it ended really quickly. I mean, she's got like 4 million subscribers. Obviously, it's a very good partnership where it's. I mean, it's like the most views they get out of anything on the Daily Wire, and so why would it just end like that? So I don't know why it ended, but it's just strange, But now they're like, well, Cooper wanted to leave, so I don't know. But it's like there's no way the Daily Wire would really. Why would you want that? And then people are like, well, she started talking about things that they didn't want. But I feel like she. I mean, I highly doubt that honestly. But who knows? She's friends with Candace Owens. Maybe she didn't like the way they treated Candace Owens. That could have been it. Greenland about to be the home to many billionaires. Yeah, because it becomes territory like Puerto Rico. You no taxes. Who buys TikTok? Does Elon buy it? Saudi? Zuck? Yeah, I don't know who buys it. I mean, I guess maybe Elon. There was a rumor that they were trying to sell it to Elon. I don't know. Yeah, Hegseth will be fine, man. Hegseth will be fine. They'll all be fine. Trust me. I mean, it's like they make a big deal about this because it's Trump's picks, but it's like they wanted Gates out. He's gone. They'll be fine. I don't understand. Many Greenlanders have social problems, and America doesn't have a welfare system. They'll be homeless in the Arctic. Well, they would be very easy to manage and help. I mean, it's just such a small population. 50,000 people is nothing. It's legit nothing. I mean, you could offer them minimal stuff, and it would still be an upgrade. Like in comparison to what the money that we have. I mean, it's just because their population is so manageable. You think Elon is driven entirely by 20th century sci-fi and is like a dog chasing a car? He doesn't know why things need to happen, but he has to chase them. Mars, car. Yeah, he does seem all over the place. He really is turning into this almost. He's trying to turn into this overseer. Like he's like a better version of a human, and he's the one that's gonna lead us. And I mean, like, because the next step for Elon was the political, and so now he has all the. I mean, he's basically has an office in the White House now, so he's in, and I think that was like his next step to have influence over American politics. And I mean, now he's talking about the UK and stuff. So I think he's got this god complex now that he's developed because he's so rich, and obviously just everyone around him. It's they love him, and that's how it always is with billionaires. But 57K. Yeah, that's the population. Don't forget his toes to Israel. Well, that's a prerequisite when you're working in the American government. You see what Hex has said about Israel today? That's a you got to check that box. You better check that box, man. If you don't check that box, it's not good news. Sam Darnold lost 90 million in incentives. That's impossible. I mean, he might have lost a big contract. I would say possibly. Mars colonization is simply about humanity trying to become interplanet. Yeah, I know, and it's interesting because it's like, will that even achieve anything? Honestly, like, because Mars is really not based on the temperature and stuff, and just it's really not suitable. I mean, obviously, it's close to us, and it's the most suitable, out of any of the planets. But it's like square peg into a round hole. They just want to do it, and Musk wants credit for it. Let's not forget Texas House went full rhino today. Yeah, there's some problems there. I saw a video on that. Where will Tyreek Hill be traded to? I don't know. I don't know how much Tyreek Hill has left in the tank. These receivers kind of fall off, but he might have one or two more good years. There's tons of empty space on Earth that would. Yeah, I know. There's so much empty space. Look how big Africa is. Africa is huge. I mean, it is a massive continent. Like it's way bigger than it looks. But even in the United States, there's so many. There's a lot of areas that are unused. That's just flat land. Greenland also gets free education and two seats in Danish parliament. Yeah, but they have no say over anything in terms of that parliament. I mean, the United States could give them a lot more than what Danish is what Denmark is giving them. As a Christian, I 100% support Pete, back Israel. Well, I mean, I support the United States and preferably leaving the Middle East. How do we warm up Mars? You bring massive mirrors and you just reflect the sun onto Mars. Well, Mars is like extreme. Don't they get extreme hot temperatures and extreme cold temperatures? It's just interesting how the Earth is placed so perfectly. Like Mars is right next to it, but it's just so uninhabitable. I mean, technically it's habitable, but still, like you have to wear a suit and everything. And you can't breathe the air. Can you do a DG special on Antarctica? Well, what video do you want on Antarctica? The future of it, the past, who controls it? Like what video do you want? Yeah, I'll do a video on Antarctica. That seems like a good idea, honestly. I got a video on World War II coming out. I'll do another video on 9/11 probably. Mars is actually pretty similar to Earth. I know it's similar, but it's there's a very fine line between similar and a solid planet for human life. You know, it's like it's such a delicate thing, and it's very hard to fit into that box. But in Mars, in the general sense, like when you characterize different planets, it is similar to Earth. How about cool things to do if Greenland becomes a territory? Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna have to develop it though. I feel like Greenland is really undeveloped, but it's hard because it's a glacier. So it's like it's just you could go there and you'd basically just stay in like a coastal city. But I mean, I guess there's certain things you can do with the snow. Can you do a video on how China is bullying Africa and South America into using their currency by putting them in massive debt? Well, yeah, there is a lot of manipulation by the Chinese. That's another good idea. Would Greenland get professional sports teams? Come on. Yeah, they get a college football team. You get a college of Greenland. Talk about the LA fires. I did do a video on the LA fires today. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video or this live stream. Uh, Greenland State versus Ohio State. How would they field the team? We don't know. Oh my goodness, honey, honey. New favorability. Here's a little favorability update. Ouch for Biden. Wait, I'm shocked Biden's even at -11. That's a good poll for Biden. That's actually a good poll for Biden. Why are people walking around with blowtorches in LA? Well, that's not good. If that's happening, that is not good. No. Sneak is gonna hit. Yeah, that meme coin. I've heard of that. All right, guys. Let's make sure you